Overflows.
Different bodies and non-physical conception. In essence, I categorically dismiss the notion of a literal non-physical conception for biological reproduction. I reframe the traditional religious narrative in terms of a spiritual awakening, pure love, and the personal internal transformation of life energy. Human beings have different bodies, including the physical, etheric, astral, and mental bodies as part of a seven-body system. Of these, physical and astral body belongs to emotional and desire body. Regarding the difference between two astral bodies, each person has his own distinct astral body, also called the subtle body, which travels with him from one life to next, carrying memories and impressions. The primary difference is simply that they belong to different individuals, each with his own unique collection of experiences and conditionings. The astral body acts as vehicle of emotions and desires. This body is associated with emotions, desires, and the emotional realm. The astral body is where all individual memories, experiences, imprints, and conditionings are accumulated. This makes each person's astral body unique, just as their physical body and personalities are unique. When the physical body dissolves or dies, the astral body remains and travels to new life after a certain period of time. A process known as transmigration or incarnation. The astral body is made of light energy and is not subject to physical gravitation. This allows for experiences of astral projections or a feeling of lightness during deep meditation. Experiences in the astral body can sometimes manifest as astral dreaming, which differs from ordinary physical dreaming and may involve memories of past lives. In essence, while the fundamental nature of the astral body remains the same for all humans, composed of energy or light, the content and experiences contained within each astral body are different. However, self-study and awareness of one's own internal bodies as a path to understanding these esoteric concepts is recommended and highly essential and necessary for transformation and continuation of the process. Buddha used the technique of jati samran, going into the past lives to free oneself of those stored emotions and other things. Humans have multiple subtle bodies, including an etheric and an astral body, which continues to exist even after the physical body enters death and moves from one life to the next. The astral body can have its own experiences which are more real than psychological ones. Sexual energy is a natural, potent force that is the foundation of life and can be a stepping stone to superconsciousness. Sex should not be repressed, rather understood and experienced with total awareness. Transformation of energy requires channeling sexual energy upward from the sex center to the crown chakra, the highest center, transforming it into a higher, creative, and loving energy. This process is achieved through a conscious experience and meditation, not suppression. Sexual energy can be channeled and transformed through awareness and meditation to reach higher states of consciousness. This will allow one to experience profound joy and ecstasy without the need for a physical sexual act. Even a great celibate master might and certainly do need to the understand the experience of sex to achieve complete liberation. Even a great celibate master might and certainly do need to understand the experience of sex to achieve complete liberation. For this, they have to enter a special sexual relationship directly, if possible, or in a subtle way using other bodies, astral, the subtle. Such was the case with Shankar to experience sex. Buddha's was different, entering one or several of one's past sexual lives. In a way, I use this technique to take the seeker to one of the important events of conception to explain how conception can be a spiritual act performed at physical level. Conception can be a physical act performed. Conception can be a spiritual act performed at a physical level. This is an explanation that life energy, sexual energy, can be transformed and experienced in non-sexual ways within oneself, but generally focuses more on the individual's inner transformation and sublimation rather than a direct non-sexual transfer of this energy to another person, which is against the law of existence. As poetic expression, as poetic explanation, it can be said that this child is born as a spiritual child. This is a subtle truth, and I have documented, although was meant to explain, therefore more details are necessary. Sexual energy is the most potent life force in existence, not as something to be repressed or condemned, but to be understood and honored. Transformation, not repression, is the way of existence. Repression of sexual energy creates psychological issues. Therefore, it is essential to develop or propose a process of transformation or sublimation where this energy is channeled upward to higher centers of consciousness through meditation and awareness. Through this transformation, a person becomes auto-ecstatic, can experience bliss and love spontaneously without dependence on another person or sexual act. When sexual energy is transformed, it manifests as love, a constant showering, a constant sharing, a constant giving, which is a non sexual form of expression and connection. This type of love does not bind or exploit the other person, unlike love that is merely a means to achieve sexual end. The key to this transformation is the practice of witnessing or a non-judgmental awareness of one's own in internal process and energies. By remaining a conscious witness during moments of sexual urge, one can avoid cooperating with the downward flow of energy, causing it to build up and eventually rise upwards, opening new passages for spiritual growth. In essence, one can reach a high reach a state where he is orgasmic and fulfilled alone, and from that place of wholeness he can share love and energy freely with others. But this is a result of self transformation, not a technical transformation of a specific sexual energy to another person outside of physical interaction. An awakened or enlightened person inherently radiates creative energy and vibrations that can influence the surroundings of other people. But the concept of transferring life energy subtly for conscription, presumably forced or non consensual transfer, is not explicitly addressed in the available texts and runs contrary to divine plan on individual awareness and freedom. A Buddha, just by sitting, creates a powerful positive vibration and energy that spreads all around them and can affect others. This is a natural outflow of their state of being. Know this as Buddha field, or an energy field created by the enlightened master, where a real transmission happened in the silence between words, giving people a taste of his own being. This is of significant importance for individuals awakening, and that no one else can do the work for you. Each person must go on their own spiritual journey. Individual responsibility and awareness is emphasized over dependence on a master for attainment. By creating this kind of a subtle environment, when the couple engage in the physical act, a higher soul can be invited. And this is how the master be a witness to the process of conception and birth of higher souls. This will continue in the next overflow. Enough.